Welcome to today's Lord podcast. Today we will have a special guest. We're going to get late for I thought I'd cut Coach Amy. Now, a lot of you guys kind of talk about environment, but that's okay. We will ask them. Well, while I'm by the way, this is music and there was discussion and I know the last few videos have been introduction to that kind of experience. Today is basically a freestyle script in podcast series, and today we will try to If you guys can answer that. Yeah. Anyways, while we continue to wait for our guest today, I wish for you guys to be safe on your today's journeys and otherwise. But yeah, today is going to be a slow one for this episode. Now, I don't blame the person because they were at a rave last night. Or a party, whichever one. Yeah, they're running a bit late. They have to get home and all that. So while we are here, I'm going to basically discuss with you what lore is out there. So what's currently going on is there's a galactic Cold War, if you haven't been keeping up with the timeline, between the Atroza Imperios and a faction known as the Old Machine. That is currently what is going on within roleplay. That both factions are currently fighting neck to neck, and a new faction was introduced known as the Muoth. Now, we'll wait for the special guest for today to get here before I go even any more further. But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell in case you're interested in this series. Next episode of lore discussion, we'll tell you when it comes out. It's supposed to be a surprise, but yeah. Anyways, I'm letting you guys go back to the music. I hope you guys don't get too bored out of your minds. Alright, so yeah, today might be like a day. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Who am I kidding? You guys always ask questions. Hey, welcome to the game. Glad to have you here. So, yeah, we are continuing to wait for our guest, okay? We are continuing to wait for our guest today. He should be arriving soon. But, yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying the music and it's not too much weird. Just waiting. Yeah. Right. Testing. Testing. There we go. Okie dokie, everybody. So, like I said, the special guest for today is running late. That is fine. I'm sorry if that music was giving you guys a headache. In case you guys watch this in the future, I apologize now. Yeah, future me might have something better in store, better music. But for now, all I can really do is use the music provided to me by this streaming service. They might have like different backgrounds and all that once we actually start making like better podcasts. We are looking for a better streaming service. So if you guys know any, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. But yeah, today's episode is going to be a slow one. We're about going to try and reach an hour, half an hour, like 30 minutes aside from now. So like 38 minutes. He should be arriving to his place shortly. Like I said, anybody viewing this in the future, just know that we're trying our best. We really are. We're trying to make this as enjoyable to all you guys as for us. And we'd like it if your support was a little more open about the channel. That's all we ask. Shush, chicken. You're not a part of the podcast. let's turn this into a sort of a drawing video then. While we wait. Backups. Not this one. I was doing something with this. High pitched. Beautiful creature. No. East. Yeah. For those wondering, the cat's name is Cleo, in case you could hear her in the background. And before you do ask, I do give a lot of attention to the cats. Yeah, while we're waiting for good old Dion to show up, might as well do some drawing. So yeah. Okay. I don't have the helmet that I need. Okay, there it is. Fine. Metal. There we go. There we go. There we go. And there we go. That is the purple I need. And that is why I put colors I need before I have to draw. It just makes it that much simpler to draw, you know? A lot of you guys might be asking in the comments later on. How and what is this site that you use called? It's called Piskel. It's a rather interesting site. I create custom helmets like this all the time for like the Google Doc. Why is everyone collectively going to the front? So yeah, this went from a lore discussion to basically a drawing. That might be another stream I start doing. Drawing streams. Like, while we wait for Dion, I'll continue this. I feel like I could add a little more detail to this. So try something here real quick. No, I only do one reinforced. Actually, that looks pretty great. The only thing we're missing is to pick off this right here. Yep. Glue them down. That looks a bit bulky, so actually, for what I want to use it for, yeah, that actually looks perfectly alright. I just have to make sure I'm using the right colors. I feel like I'm missing Oh, that's right. I'm missing a body. Oh, I have to do the neck. It's all about form. Oh, I know what I'm gonna use this for. Give me a moment. I actually have just the right body. Yep, there we are. Combined. This here. Now, you're probably going to question how I'm going to do this, but that is not the question I'm going to be answering today. Because this is exactly how I'm going to do this. I need to just. Hey! Serious? No! Hi, you tiny animal. Why do you do this? Okay, firstly, bots. Oh, great. Bots are in. You know, nobody cares about what you think. Stupid bots. Give me a moment. Looks like I'm kicking out some bots. I'm doing this at the same exact time. Kicking out bots. There we go. Always gonna love this. give me a quick moment. And of course, I'm not even using the right color. Fix it up. Of course I'm not. Okay. I think that looks good for a juggernaut. Hey, welcome to the chat. Oh, and Dionysus is finally here. Hey, Dion.
Yep. Apologies for the late entry. Rave night kept me into a hangover stupor.
That's fine. Oh, you're the one that's watching currently? You're the one person who's watching the... Anyways, yeah. So, pretty much we're going to be discussing the events that have currently led up to current roleplay. I've already announced it earlier in the video.
All right, that's perfectly fine. What have you gone over so far?
Absolutely only the war between the Atroza and the Old Machine. That's all I've gone over thus far.
All right, got it.
Then I
So in
decided
terms
to
of the
start
battle
drawing
and the
on stream.
conflict, what part have you discussed so far?
Only that both were going after each other, basically.
All right, that makes sense. So is there anything you need me to clarify, update, or give you information about?
Yeah, what is, well, not for me, but this stream is meant for, like, to catch the viewers up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So pretty much the basis of the old machines is that they are more or less stuck in a cycle. This cycle more or less is a representation of their anger and hatred towards anything that is organic. Not necessarily like animals or like a squirrel in a tree or like a deer in the meadow. It's more like organic civilizations. They more or less view them as an error, always going through eternal conflict, always causing chaos and always causing disruption. So they see them as something that needs to be purged or erased or destroyed. However, in this sense of the cycle, they've actually caused an event where a different species, well, not necessarily a species, it's more like the collective, which I'll definitely discuss in the future, and definitely now, is a group called the Muth. More or less, the Muth are the janitors of every single collective universe, dimension, alternate reality. They are the people who have to go and clean up all the consecutive messes that cause chaos, that cause disorder, that cause an imbalance. And so when they come and clean that imbalance, then they pave way for new life, so then the cycle or the balance can be kept.
Makes sense.
The Muth themselves do not go out of their way to attack people. That is completely against their code. They go by the code of the one being who was created during the first universe. He created them to keep the balance. So they go by his laws and his code. So they'll never, like, there's no way that they would ever attack someone because you insulted them. They just don't care because they don't have that emotional capacity to really even feel insulted because they don't care. They're not someone who will attack somebody out of greed or out of wanting to expand their borders, because they have necessarily no borders, as they are the dead. So any collective universe, as I said before, collective universe, dimension, alternate reality, that is their plane of existence. It's like the world behind the world. The shadow that's within the shadow.
Yeah.
So
for
pretty
anybody
much
who's
in
new
the
to
sense,
the Discord, this is Dionysus, one of our staff members. Sorry I didn't properly introduce you.
oh, no worries.
As you were saying.
No, like I said, I was saying, so the Muth, more or less, they have to keep balance. They have to keep the order. They have to keep yin and yang. They have to keep the straight line seam. And if anything causes an imbalance and anything causes disorder or chaos that causes the order to be disrupted, that's when they act. But they don't do anything out of malice, out of anger, out of jealousy, fear, or nothing. They just do their job. It's like the janitor who's working inside of a school. He has an endless amount of work. He doesn't get mad. He just does his job.
And then you have
It's as
factions
if
like the
somebody-
Atroza.
Apologies. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. Then you have something like the Atroza, which is basically the anti-bully that acts as if you're a bigger faction trying to bully a smaller faction, the AI will step in. And the Muth have to clean up after the AI a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely definitely, since the AI is a very, very old and ancient species. They've been around for a very, very long time. So any conflict that causes chaos or disorder, the Muth will then eventually clean it up.
Well, they're not really species. They're a collective of species underneath a faction.
No, yeah, fair enough.
But yeah. To catch up most of you guys in a simpler recap, basically Muth are janitors, the AI are basically the big anti-bully person that actually steps into the fights rather than sends you home for suspension for fighting back. That is basically the two factions. The old machine is basically the bully that believes that you're inferior because they're snobby and rich.
Pretty much. That's the basis of it. To pretty much dumb it down, that's pretty much the basis of it.
Yeah.
So the old machines have been
wow.
doing this quote-unquote cycle for untold amount of years, and the Muth have been consistently cleaning up after them, but they're not allowed to specifically go after them. The only time ever the Muth will actually go after somebody is if you mess with the dead. If you literally go to that point of really breaking the seal, the barrier, that's when they have to act.
The only faction
that is the only
get a free pass
one
on that is
and
the
only
cultists.
time they can attack.
If anyone gets that joke, you get the joke. It's a bit of an inside joke that the cultists basically break a lot of the laws anyways. Basically, that they summon the gods to the mortal realm. Cults in Universal Collide are few and far between nutcases to basically religious brotherhoods.
Come on, dog. Come on inside.
As you were So yeah, and the new universe plot will be taking place, and we will be deleting one of the universes, sadly. However, the channels will be transferred. Actually, we'll be deleting 2 universes and keeping at least 2 universes. Those 2 universes are the Earth universe and the Parados universe, due to limited space and trying to keep it less confusing for new role players. So a lot of factions are going to die, and that will be due to the old machine. In case you guys need a recap of this, we will be doing a recap series. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, please leave it down in the comments. and we'll go back to your original regular program. So, Dionysus, how would you describe the old machine in a more advanced way?
More advanced way. So pretty much, to give the backstory of it, you have to go all the way down to the beginning. So, in an alternate reality, in an alternate universe, we get the concept. They used to be humans, lived on Earth, did their own things, but then a nuclear holocaust then happened, thus forcing mankind to leave Earth. The exodus of Earth, the seeds of Earth, they had to leave. They had to go out and find their new home. However, one group was peaceful, the other was angry and violent because they had all this anger, all this hatred. Those seeds, those ships leaving from Earth, they found a new home, but they had an anger towards organics. They had hatred, untold amounts of pain and suffering, loss of loved ones. And eventually they soon began to leave their organic bodies. They invented technology, and then eventually became a machine race. So thus began the cycle, starting that cycle where they declared war on an old empire, much older than them, called the Twin Blade Empire.
I recall this one.
Another time we can definitely have a discussion about that. But to pretty much give them a quick summary.
Yeah, we will be actually doing that in the recapped series where we go over the wars that aren't exactly covered in lore, such as the Black Spade War, the Twin Blade War, the Eternal Crusades.
And so pretty much, going back to what I was saying, is that the humans on Earth became a machine race. Thus, they named themselves Nifarians. They hated anything organic, and thus they began a war against the Twin Blade Empire. The war lasted for well over 1,000 years, but eventually the Twin Blade Empire was wiped out. And of course, as you know, the remains of that war was cleaned up by the Muth.
Yep. Now, those poor machines are going against the one empire not even the freaking High Republic, the High Citadel Republic wants to F with.
No. But anyway, as the war kept going on, but the war was so chaotic, so violent, so aggressive, there was a split in the Nifarian Empire. A split happened. One side realized that what they were doing was they were doing the same exact things would cause them pain and cause them to lose their home on Earth. But the other side, they didn't care. They just wanted to keep wiping them out. And thus, the Nifarian Civil War happened. That lasted well over 5,000 years and ended in a stalemate. Nobody won. And of course, as you know, the Muth came in and cleaned up everything.
Yeah.
So, thus, the old machines were born. As they split apart, went their way, the Nifarian Empire went their own way. But however, what they did was that since the Nifarians were so guilty and so upset and so in pain of what they've done, they then isolated themselves within the void, the center of everything. They decided that we are going to punish ourselves because of what we've done, so now we're going to go in the void and hide there. However, the old machines, they kept on doing what they were doing. They kept the cycle, they kept advancing. Every single empire they destroyed, they took their technology and advanced themselves. So this endless cycle is also an endless way of them upgrading their own technology, because they can't do it on their own anymore, because all they're doing is moving from system to system to system, and they don't have a home world anymore.
The only technology I do see them having some trouble with is sideshow technology, because it's more that you require like a living vessel to even like modify it or get an understanding of it. That's the only technology I see them having some difficulty with. Aside from that, I'm understanding where this is going. Basically, they reverse engineer the technology of the species they defeat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Well, this sadly has to wrap up because this is one of the longer episodes, and I'm trying to keep them anywhere between an hour and 30 minutes to an hour. Thank you for coming, Dionysus.
Of course, thank you for having me.
No problem. I already know I said this at the beginning of the episode, but make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and get notifications when we drop a new lore podcast. We will be doing an extended cut of this since Dionysus was a bit late. Again, no harm, no shade towards you, Diane.
No. That's my fault. Big event last night. Drank too much, and here I am.
Yeah. We the next episode will be diving into the Atroza Imperium fully. I understand we did deep dive into it in the separate lore reading podcast, but lore discussion wise, we'll be diving into that. And hopefully I have two special guests, Dion from an outside perspective and Valor from an inside perspective. So love you all, be safe, and have a good Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year, people. Happy holidays.